Hiya, welcome to Pickler the Podcast. I am your co-host, Stacie Townsend, along with John, the People's Champ, Davison. John, I was looking back at this month of July here, and it was pretty slow in terms of pro pickleball, but that's all about to change as we head into August.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at the calendar, the pro pickleball calendar, and there's 7 events, which include 3 PPAs, 3 APPs, and of course the second round of Major League Pickleball. And a couple of these are going head to head, which include Major League Pickleball and the PPA Selkirk Labs Showdown. What do you make of all of this?
Well, there's definitely going to be some burnout for sure. I mean, obviously, they pretty much all overlap because there's not 7 weekends in a month. But I'm going to several of them. I'll be at MLP, and then I will be commentating Philly, APP.
Oh, nice.
And then, I don't know, is Atlanta somewhere in there too? I think I'm trying to play that. I don't know. It's
my goodness. So a little bit of everything, a fan viewership in the broadcast booth and on the court.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to add to this discussion before we get much deeper, because I know we can talk about just those events for the whole episode, but we have a great guest tonight. It's a pro player who's going to be at some of these events, if not all of them. James Ignatowich, who was recently drafted to the Ranchers for Major League Pickleball, is hitting the mic tonight. James started playing pickleball I don't even think 12 months ago, currently ranked number 5 in pro men's singles in Newport. He's won medals on both tours, which is very impressive, and he's fresh off his first gold in singles at Beer City. So welcome, James.
How's it going?
Great. We're lucky to have you tonight.
You're pretty much a single specialist. You're pretty much the single specialist already, and you just walked onto the scene, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely pretty crazy. I mean, I didn't plan on being a single specialist. I don't plan on being a single specialist at all. But you know, my doubles game is improving dink by dink. I've had some early success in singles, but that's just because it was so easy for me right away. I mean, my first ever sanctioned tournament, pretty much after 2 weeks, I'd say I was a pro level singles player on the higher end of things. You know, two weeks after I picked up a paddle. But yeah, I mean, first tournament I ever played, I didn't even know how to sign up. Didn't even know. I thought I was signing up for 4 or 5, and basically I accidentally signed up for pro. First round happens. My friend says to me, he's like, "Oh, look at your draw." I'm like, "I don't know how to look at my draw." And he's like, "Dude, you have a tough draw. You have a horrible draw. You play Thomas Wilson. He's top 10 in the world." And I'm like, "Oh no, you know, we'll see how this goes." But you know, I'm like, okay. Had a couple 5-hour energies, went out there, and
Nice.
That's the last singles match he's ever played.
Oh wow!
I retired. And I think all men's singles players should thank me, because Thomas Wilson is no longer signing up for men's singles at tournaments, primarily because of me. So that's
so how'd you get so good at singles, James? 2 weeks, that's all it took?
Yeah, I mean, I think it pretty much took me 2 weeks. I was a pretty good tennis player, and I kind of just started playing pickleball, and I didn't really want to dink because I missed every dink that I hit. And I couldn't understand how the court, the net is like 7 feet away from where I'm trying to hit this stupid dink. And I just missed it. So I gave up and I said, I'm staying back and I'm driving every ball. And that worked for singles. So that's kind of what I did.
I have to give you a shout out. My dad was a referee, I think, at your first tournament. And I remember him coming over. He's like, "There's this new guy. He's really good. He just whacks the backhand." And he was going on about you. And so I always thought that was funny. So I guess your story is right. 2 weeks in, he was pretty good, John. I have some reliable sources on that.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas Wilson's a pretty good singles player. And since you put him to bed, you know.
Yes, he was.
Right, yeah, he was, right?
We don't know now. We don't know. Yeah.
So similar story for tennis players like yourself, James, right? You come through singles. It's an easier transition. Where are you at now with your doubles game?
So my doubles game is getting better. I'm hitting an absurd amount of dinks and an absurd amount of drops. Pretty much all the doubles pickleball stuff that you don't do in tennis. But I'm focused on it. I mean, I've got good hands. JW knows that. I've been playing with JW, practicing with him pretty much every day, and he keeps trying to flick it at me. That stupid that flick he does.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been working on my mat right slide. I just slide over. Nope, good night. So I've been doing that, and he definitely has had some trouble with me, and that's good. I mean, he's pretty good at pickleball, I would say. So getting able to practice with him, I'm practicing with Dylan Frazier a lot too, Gabe Tardio. I'm just playing with so many good players on a daily basis. And obviously I'm not as good as JW or Dylan in doubles, but getting to play with them, just being around them every day, definitely helps. So I think that's a positive for me.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're iron sharpens iron, right? And you're a product of your environment. So the more you play with those guys and gals every single day, that's sure to help.
Yeah, it definitely. At first, it was a little discouraging because JW, when I first played with him, was so much better than me. It was absurd. Like I had played for like 2 months, and I was just like, this guy is just unbelievable, and he still is. He's really an unbelievable player. But now I can hold my own. I mean, he's way better than me still, and I don't know how hard he's even really trying when he plays me in double. But I can, I don't totally embarrass myself every time. Only sometimes.
Yeah, that is always the worst part about playing someone like JW or Ben. It's like they don't even look like they're trying, and they piece you up, and it's like, why am I even on the court? But then you can just go beat them in singles. So you've beaten them a couple times right now in singles.
The last 2 times we've played, I've beaten them. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we got to put JW down a couple pegs,
Yeah, that's the only way. I guess I'm the guy to do it. I've got to do it. So.
There you go.
So lots of dinks. Any strategy troubles is transitioning from tennis to pickleball?
Yeah. So for Major League Pickleball, I'm going to have to play the right for the first time because I'm playing with DJ Young, who does not know, I guess, how to play the right, doesn't want to play the right. And that's fine with me. I mean, he's had so much more success in doubles than I have. I've had no success. So he's had more than me. And he wants me on the right. I'm like, okay, I'll play the right. That's fine with me. I just want the 25K. So basically that's been kind of my focus. And I'm like, all right, so I want to figure out how to play on the right side. And I go on YouTube. Somebody told me to watch Colin Johns, and I'm trying to find Colin Johns highlights. And it's tough to get Colin Johns highlights because if you go to a match of Colin and Ben, Colin's hitting only cross-court dinks, and Ben's doing everything else. Okay, but I notice he does some stuff like Colin does the slide, like Matt Wright. So I'm learning how to do that. I'm doing that stuff. But I've been hitting so many cross-court dinks, so many forehand cross-court dinks. I just think about MLP and how fun it's going to be, and the money in particular, and then that's what motivates me to hit those dinks. I mean, how many forehand cross-court dinks have I hit in the last 2 weeks? God knows. Thousands. Tens of thousands. So many.
More than you've hit in your whole career so far?
I mean, it's just absurd. I'm dreaming about dinking. I'm losing my mind. But it's it's for a good cause. So
hey, there is a demand of right-sided players. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to work on now. I'm just trying to be a right-sided player, like a Johnny Goldberg. Just dink, and then slap the backhand. Yeah.
I played with Johnny in Cali.
How'd that go?
Not great. We won a couple matches, but we ran into DJ Young and Mario Barrientos. Second round, they put us on center, and going into the match, I'm like, okay, let's just not embarrass ourselves, and that's exactly what we did. We lost 0-1. So
perfect. Yeah. Way to go, Johnny.
It was supposed to be me. Johnny held his own on the right. I got exposed.
I went 2-0 with Johnny once, but we had fun.
I feel like everybody kind of has that similar story.
I love Goldberg though.
No, he's cool. He's a good guy.
So let's circle back to MLP and make sure everybody's up to speed. After the first event, there was trades, drops, and a shuffle draft or a new picks permitted. James, you were the beneficiary of this new shuffle draft as the Ranchers dropped a player and selected you. So there's a little bit of a mix up of the teams, and they're going at it again in Newport. And James keeps referring to this $25K, the winning team. Each of the four walk away with $25K, total of $100,000 for the winning team. So James, do you feel, were you expecting to get drafted? Do you feel any pressure going into Newport? Where's your mind at?
Was I expecting to get drafted? No, I didn't really. I knew like a little before because they told me, but I didn't really think I was. And yeah, I mean, there's like criticism around the draft of the the selection of me and stuff, and I think it's pretty much justified. I mean, I haven't played much doubles. Definitely haven't played much doubles on the right side. Usually play the left, but the last thing I want to do is prove those nerds at NML right. So
those nerds.
So that's what I'm doing. I mean, so I'm definitely. I wasn't super surprised. I mean, I thought it was a possibility, but I wasn't really looking forward to it. I wasn't expecting it. But I'm happy that I got the opportunity. It's such a great team. Jackie Kawamoto and Anna and DJ. It's like it's a really good team, and I'm definitely the weak link, which is pretty nerve wracking, but it's exciting for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like you can kind of go in with no pressure since they got 0 wins in the first one. So if you just get 1 win, you've already contributed.
I think it's interesting too, James, because we talk about your singles rise, right? Like top 5 on Duper is pretty incredible, especially only 12 months in. And at Major League Pickleball, if you can just split your doubles games, it goes to a single showdown, and the edge you can bring to the Ranchers with even the singles is, I think, amazing, because what do they say? Like this absurd amount of matches went to this Dreambreaker singles match off. So I think it's going to be really important, and I think that definitely probably played into the minds of Tim Klitsch and the other owners of the Ranchers and your pick.
Well, the thing is, so 45% of matches went to Dreambreakers. 45. So I think that's because of the new that format where if you get to 20, you're frozen. That makes it kind of a crapshoot. It's like, who's going to win? You can have a favorite and a underdog, but it's really a lot of it's luck. So with 45% of the matches going to Dreambreakers, obviously they're really important. And you've got to have guys where you can put them in, and a lot of guys are like this. But it's important to have them where you can put them in and that they're going to win, or you're confident that they're going to win against women too, because there's going to be men that play against women a lot of the times. So I knew that'd be a factor, and there's been some pretty hilarious instances, like when Deckel Barr went 1-7 against Lee Whitwell. And that's not going to happen to me. I'll tell you right now. I'm going to get 2 points at least. So that's a factor, and that happens. And I think that I mean, when I was in Newport Beach, I think towards the end, that's when I knew I was going to get drafted, and I wanted to make sure I got a chance to go against Paris Todd, who is like, they say she's the best female singles player in the world. I think so too. I consider her the best, and I wanted a piece of her, and she didn't really want to play me. I could tell she was a little scared, which is understandable. And I basically, I got the chance to play her 1-11. I'm like, Paris, it's fine. I'm going to make it quick. We go out there, 11-0. So, she said, James, I think you're cut from a different cloth. I said, yeah, you're probably right. And I'm like, you got to tell BLQK they can't be matching her up against me, or it's going to be destruction.
You heard it here first.
Oh, wow. I love the call out. Unfortunately, wait, you guys are in because the draws came out today, right? So you're in the draw against BLWK. So it's almost a guarantee because the Ranchers too went to 2 singles tie breaks, right? Mm-hmm. And so you think if maybe you go the tie break again against the Fives, if you're the away team, do you pick for you to go against Paris?
That's a good question. Well, it really comes down to the matchups because they've got 2. I mean, Zane his duper ratings higher than me. He's one of the best singles players in the world. And then Rafa's a great singles player. Obviously, Rafa. Even Irina is a good singles player. So that's a tough situation. I don't know how we would go about that. But if we go to they're probably the last team that you would want to go to a Dream Breaker.
And they didn't go to a Dream Breaker, if you remember, in Austin. They were the one team that didn't play one.
Yeah.
That is correct. But they did have the number 1 combined duper score for singles.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I did see that. I think they were number 2 in doubles and number 1 singles for the team score. So yeah, I definitely would not want to go against them in singles. But I mean, hey, if you're the away team, you beat Paris, 11-0. Might as well just put yourself up against her and
the only issue is that now I'm going to be a little extra nervous against her because I just said podcast.
You called her out.
If anybody references this and I end up going like 2-2 against her or something or whatever it is, that'd be bad. So got to back it up now.
Yeah, you might but you'll look like a genius, if you get it right.
Be hilarious, actually. That'd be so funny. Oh yeah. Well,
so in that group, do you think the Fives is the toughest matchup?
To be honest, I don't even know who's on the Fives.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, you're Ranchers. So you're not even in BLQK. I'm sorry, you're not even in their group.
Let's go. Okay, that's good.
You're with against the Fives. So that's Simone, Rob Nunnery, Lena, and who's the other? Oh, Eric Lang.
Okay.
And then I don't think they made a trade or anything. And then you have the Jackrabbits. So that's the Barasha sisters, AJ and Wes Gabrielson. Unless they traded for another guy.
Oh, I think they got...
And then you have...
Oh, no, no. They traded for Maggie, yeah.
Yeah, so they have both Brashas now. And then you have the Bus, which they picked up West
I know who's on
Burroughs.
the Bus, yeah. Yeah, I'm not familiar with all the teams, but because I didn't play. I mean, I wasn't in it last. But I know the Bus is Kyle and West Burroughs. Yeah, so I like that group. That's good. I think it'll be good. I think I'm in Kyle's head for sure. After that last tournament that we played, I was playing with William Sobek. We've just played in Beer City. It was me and Sobek. If you know who that is, he's a great player. And he was wearing a shirt that was a little too yellow, apparently. And they said that he had to take his shirt off. They were like, "You got to take the shirt off because it's like an optical illusion." Which, who knows? I mean, I think it was pretty yellow, so it's fair. It's a fair criticism. I think that I got to wear like a really yellow hat against Kyle next time I play him, or something. I'm gonna do something to. No, Kyle's a great guy. He's a good player. So we'll see. It'll be tough.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. I mean, there's no bad team, right? So it comes down to matchups and then the scoring system and then who's just playing better that day. But I do know that they made a change to where, Stacie, I don't know if you saw this, where when the team gets to 20, the other team, when they get to 18, they get frozen 2. So I don't think you're going to see that comeback as much. So I don't know if there'll be, that 22-20 score as much as there was.
Yeah, I think that's a good change. I don't know what you guys think, but I think that's a good change because you could tell that once the other team got to 20, you just went, balls to the wall and just went for anything. James, what do you think? Are you happy with that change?
I don't even know like what I think anymore. I mean, this Steve guy is out of his mind. I think. I mean, he's got a different idea every day. It's like, what are we doing, Steve? No, he's a good guy. Steve, obviously, you got to appreciate what he's doing. MLP's awesome, but Steve has got to just stick to one thing. Like, we can't just be like changing everything every week. Like, it's like, I like MLP style format. I like that I think it's more fun than real side out scoring for doubles. For singles, I think it's got to be side out scoring. I have my reasons for that, but for doubles, I like how they do it. And you can stay on one side. That's fun. It's easy. You don't have to switch and, unwinding stacks and all that. But yeah, the whole like 2020, now it's 2018. I didn't really think that you should get frozen at 20 in the first place, although it was great entertainment. Like I thought that was fun watching it, but so maybe that, but now like we're switching it at 2018. It's like, if people are trying to learn the game, you can't just be changing the game that they're learning. Like now people don't even know what's going on. I don't really care. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's like, it's cool, but yes, I don't know. I think we should stick to one thing.
They're definitely testing new ideas. And I feel like you can't really test new ideas without putting them in action, to really see what results from it. I personally, it was stressful because I was rooting for Olivia. They lost in the first match against Chimeras. They lost 2 when they were at 20, and the other team was trailing big and they ended up losing, so it was like, well, on that end, it sucks. But for a fan, I think the freezing at 20 and letting the other team catch up is like really exciting for a fan.
That's true. It is fun. It's fun to watch. I mean, I was there in person in Austin last time, and it was cool. I mean, the atmosphere is like so electric. Like JW was there in like the final, just like stone faced, and like the whole crowd is erupting, and JW is just like, hitting like winners. It was pretty cool. So.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool atmosphere. We were both there too.
Yeah, made the trip. Had to see what it was all about. But I guess to bring it back around, I think the 18 may be a good balance. I think it's worth trying. We're so early in pickleball. You got to try new things to see what sticks. And I think it keeps it fresh for the fans, at least the people that are really in it, doing these different ideas. Hopefully we'll find the winning formula and roll with it as James, because James, your point is spot on, right? Everybody complains that pickleball scoring is so difficult, and now we're changing it and making new rules. So it makes it even more complicated. But I want to circle back. You kind of, owned some of the criticism that you had in the draft, but what are your expectations? Do you think you are going to come out there and gel with DJ Young and Anna Bright? Do you think your team's going to make it at least out of the pool play this time? Are you going to be taking home the $25K? What are your expectations?
Well, my expectations are that we're going to win the tournament because I think we have the best team. I think DJ Young is really good, and I think he knows now that we have a team that should probably go really far. So I think getting Jackie was huge. I think that was a bigger deal than getting me. I mean, getting me is like, who knows if that's helpful. But getting Jackie is like, okay, that's a big deal. I don't know. I mean, Maggie is also a great player, but I was watching Jackie play, and it's like she's such a machine, just such a great player. And I've never seen her like miss a drop or a dink, which is like, there's an argument to be made that like if you're that low to the ground, it's easier to hit the drops and the dinks. At least that's what I try to say. Because for me,
same.
But, so we've got such a great team, and I think our power rating, which is a combination of our singles rating and our doubles rating, is number 3 now, behind BLT and Florida Smash. I could be wrong, and so it's like we're definitely right there. And I think that my expectations are that we're gonna win. I've already told everybody that. So now if we lose, I'm just gonna look like I'm stupid. So might as well say it on the podcast.
If you don't think that's right. If you don't think you should, you're gonna win, you should play, right? Got to believe it, like John said.
Mm-hmm. I will say though, you're not going to win because the Lions are going to win. So, because I want Olive to win that 25K. So sorry, but you're not going away with it.
I don't know who's on the Lions. Who's on the Lions?
Oh, well, you're Olivia McMillan, the MVP of Newport Beach, and then you have Thomas Wilson, your boy, Chuck Taylor, and more unknown Etta Wright.
I know, I saw that. She just got picked up. That's a tough team.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, if you make it out of pool play and you run into them,
I don't know.
It's gonna be tough for you in the playoffs.
I'll keep it
just
in
letting you
mind
know.
for sure.
So at the top of the show, we hinted at a MLP versus PPA Selkirk Labs showdown kind of matchup in terms of viewership, and fans are both playing out on the same dates. I think, John, you texted me yesterday saying that they're just an hour and a half apart in terms of maybe driving distance.
Mm-hmm.
That the PPA format is more individual based, but they're trying to mix up matchups very similar to MLP. Any thoughts on this? Both of you. I want to hear both your opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the PPA thing can't even compare. I mean, if you look at it compared to the MLP thing, it's not even, it kind of sucks. The money is so much worse. It's not even close. I got the invite. I have the text, but the money isn't even comparable. You can't even compare the two events. It's not like if I run a Moneyball event and my Moneyball is no entry fee, but it's $10,000 for the winner, and then another guy runs a Moneyball and it's $100. Who's gonna go? I looked at it and it's you can't even, if you're gonna, I don't even know why the PPA is doing it. I guess if they have their contracted players, the contracted players have to do it. Yeah, I feel bad for a lot of those guys because if I'm a contracted player, and Tyson and Ben and those guys, I'm sure they get a ton of money and it makes sense for them. But if you're not Tyson, Riley, Ben, Matt, you've got to be looking at MLP thinking wow, I really screwed that up because the MLP thing is way better. And I don't know about the formats and the who plays who and individual based, all that stuff. I don't know anything about that stuff, so I could be wrong there. But I just know that I've talked to a lot of the pros about it, and the general sentiment is that MLP is way. I mean, it's not even close.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool that the PPA is doing something, right? I mean, obviously that, they're doing it on the same weekend, right? For a reason. But I don't even see what the payout is. So I can't imagine it would be. I would imagine if they were tried to one up the MLP, they'd probably put a higher prize pool. But it doesn't appear. I don't know what it is because they're not advertising that. So
there's a reason for it. I mean, I got I guess I probably shouldn't say because I got a text from one of the I know how much it is and it's not good. So it's not even worth it's crazy.
Well, they obviously have to do something if they want to compete with the MLP, because MLP is just the best event in the history of pickleball, in my opinion. Yeah. Both the APP and the PPA have been a cool venues and have cool events. I will say that, but I would say that the MLP is the coolest, most fun event there is.
I agree. I think the great thing about everybody, though, PPA, MLP, APP, everybody's pumping so much money into pickleball. The sport is winning. So having two events, I think MLP is going to have the finals maybe on CBS Sports again. PPA is going to have it on Tennis Channel, obviously on YouTube's and Facebook, but the amount of money that they're putting into these events and pushing it out in terms of the broadcasts has got to only be good things, right, for the sport, even if there is a little competition, which doesn't offend me. I think it's just nature of business. But I am really interested to see how the individual based rotation that the PPA is coming up with will come out, see if it's an interesting format or no.
I would say I would say one of your rivals in the singles, James, Federico, and I think you hinted at that in
Newport Beach.
Was it out in? Yeah. I would say that's probably your biggest singles rival at the moment. He's in with Ben Johns, Jay DeVilliers, and Callan Dawson. That's a pretty tough pool to be in. So I'm sure he's wishing he was in your shoes right now.
Does the PPA have singles for that event or no?
That I don't know.
Even see it in the text.
I don't understand. There's not a lot. There's round robin matches between players in each group. Matches will be chaotic combination of men's, women's, and mixed. So it does not sound like there's any singles.
Well, good luck to Federico. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Good luck. I'll send him a text. Maybe I'll get him some. Yeah, he's gonna need more than luck for that one. Jeez.
Do you have a shout out for Federico? Do you want to call him out on anything? Are you coming for him this
Yeah, I mean, I just beat him in Beer City, so I've got the last win over him, which is how it should be. And no, he's one of my friends. He's one of my good friends. He was at my house. He was staying at my house yesterday. We played some rec doubles with Dylan and JW, and I think now we've played 15 games against Dylan and JW. And we have gotten, I think, over 8 points one time. Haven't won a game.
Wow.
Haven't even come. Yeah, it's tough.
Wow.
It's tough out here. I mean, Federico just gets bullied. It's messed up. You know, I'm holding my own, but no, we both have a tough time. I mean, it's but no, I wish Federico a lot of luck in the PPA doubles. I'm sure he's going to hold up really well across from guys like Ben Johns and Riley Newman. Just
Who are those guys anyway?
Yeah.
They're old news now, right?
It's going to be tough for him. But no, that's cool. He's a great player. I mean, he's got such a good I think one of the things that makes him so tough is that he's so mentally solid. I mean, when I'm playing and in singles, you can get a really good idea of how mentally disciplined and tough somebody is because there's 10 seconds in between points. You serve, you return, and if you make errors, it's just you. So you can really get a good feel for how in and out somebody is mentally. And if you look at the guys outside of the top 10, top 20, I think one of the biggest things is that they're going to miss, 2 or 3 returns a game. They might miss a serve or, a lot of thirds. But a guy like Federico, when I'm playing him, like you have to earn it. Every single point, you have to earn it. He's not going to give you anything. And he's got a great serve, great return. He's really solid. So he's tough in a lot of ways. And if you want to, he's not going to beat himself. So.
Yeah. Well, enough about that guy. We're talking to you now. What are your goals with pickleball?
My goals are probably to be the best player in the world across all events. Kind of like Ben Johns, but a little better looking. That's my plan. Kind of just be like that. At least number 1 in singles. My goal is definitely to be number 1 in singles, and I think that is obviously attainable. But doubles and mixed, it's going to take some more time, and I'm putting the work in. I don't know who's really working like I'm working.
What are you doing?
I know JW. I mean, I play like 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day, just working on stuff, trying to get my reps up. I've only played 9 months. So my reps, I need to max out my reps and doing a lot of drops, a lot of dinks, plyometrics 5 times a week, sprinting, side shuffle sprinting. I don't really train singles specifically. I don't really work on my drives or anything like that. That's always kind of just been something that I've had. And it's like, how much better can they really get? And but dinking, drops, hands, double stuff. I'm working doubles stuff for a lot of time.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of reps. So
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Like, well, I know you don't train the singles, but you're really good on the stretch. The people think they have you, and then you just, you get the long reach and you use it well, and yet you could still hit a crazy passing shot on that stretch, which a lot of players, up until very recently, that wasn't really there in the singles game.
mm-hmm.
Where now it's like you, like Federico and a couple other guys can really do that well.
I mean, a big part of that's mental. That's just wanting it really bad. I mean, that's just mentally being focused and seeing a target and just willing it in, because you're not really thinking about your technique on those shots. You just have to will it in, and you have to be really locked in, and that's most of what that is. It's tough to practice that, really. So.
Yeah. Right. I'm really trying to work on because I don't come from tennis background, and I really want to work on my slide. It's not there yet, but I feel like that's the one thing I'm really, really missing the most. Probably other things too, but that's the one thing I feel like I'm really missing is that nice slide, and then being able to hit a passing shot off of it. That's the one thing I'm super jealous of.
Yeah, well, it makes sense that you're jealous. It's a pretty awesome shot.
Yeah. But doubles, though, I'm not worried about you.
You shouldn't be.
Because I've beaten JW. So. Yeah, it was like 3 years ago.
James, you keep bringing up the mental game.
Yeah.
It sounds like that you identify that as being really important. Do you do anything to work on the mental part of your game?
Not anymore. I think, I meditate a lot. I think I probably meditate for at least an hour a day. Even while doing other things, I do a lot of meditation stuff. And it's important to have a quiet mind. If you have a lot of thoughts that are like loud thoughts, I think that's actually what takes your concentration off of the shot. So the ball's in the air, you're tracking the ball, and it's not that you don't think. The reason that you lose focus is because you do think. You think about something else. Some other thought comes in. Like thoughts happen because they show up in your brain. You don't try to think. They come into your brain and then they distract your attention. So if you have a really good ability to not think, then that's how you have the toughest, toughest if is the word, but just mental discipline to not think. And I'm really good at not thinking. I mean, you could ask my parents, so I've got a really good, I can do that. I can control my own mind. And the other thing that it comes down to is eating right. You have to eat really well. And because whenever I've had periods in my life where I was drinking a lot of alcohol and I was not eating well, fried food, and that messes with your brain. Yeah, you have to be working out a lot, which is what we're doing because we're playing pickleball. So that's one thing. But you also have to be eating really well. And if you're doing those two things, then you're going to be in a pretty good mental state most of the time. So I drink green juices every day. I drink mostly water. My one vice is caffeine, as you can see. Celsius, that's the one thing that's got to go. Yeah, I love some broccoli, carrots, spinach. I eat a lot of nutrients, and I don't eat fried food, and I really avoid processed sugar. I avoid sugar as much as I can, but I still sometimes have sugar for sure. But I eat well too. So
what do you do to meditate? Do you have any tips?
Well, it's tough because at this point I've been doing it for years. So my tips are not. I guess a beginner tip would be find something that you can hear in the background, and then just focus on the sound and just listen to the sound. So like you could have the AC on or like a fan on, and you hear the sound, and then you think, how long can I go? We don't think, but you just practice. How long can I listen to this sound and just be fully attentive to the sound before a thought takes me away? And then I have some thought and I lose my attention. Or how long can I look at this Celsius bottle and just focus on it? And then in the beginning, after like 4 seconds, you're going to start thinking about hitting a third shot drop or something. But then over and over and over and over, you can get good to the point where you can not think for a while. So
That's really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I need to get better at. Well, pretty much everything you just said. Eating better. I've let myself get away from that recently. But I mean, you basically just described what it takes to be a number one athlete, in any sport. You look at Novak Djokovic and you look at some of these other guys, Rafa Nadal and even other sports, LeBron James, the way they take care of their bodies, Tom Brady, that's why they're so successful for so long, and now it gets harder for people like me who have like full-time jobs and I slack off sometimes to be competitive because, you have players like you that are like really taking it seriously, a real sport, so I think it's a good thing for the sport that we have real athletes, focused on that. Because that's what it takes to win now.
Yeah. And I would be, even if I wasn't playing pickleball, I think it's so important to work out every day and eat right. It's for your own mental happiness. It's important. I mean, you have to be. I've had times where I wasn't working out when I stopped playing tennis before I started playing pickleball, and I just felt like didn't feel good. It's just, not good. So.
I had a similar experience. Former softball player, stopped playing, and different mindset until I started playing pickleball. So. Is that how did you get in or find the sport, James? I don't know if we touched on that.
Yeah, I was, so I live in Delray Beach, Florida. So it's, obviously a lot of pickleball in the area, and I live a mile from Delray Beach Tennis Center. So I was driving by and I see these, they look like tennis courts, but they're not, they're a little smaller. I'm like, what are these things? And I go check it out, and everybody's like 60 years old and using paddles and wiffle balls. And I'm like, I think I would dominate. So I went and I tried it, and I was instantly pretty good. And I just loved it. It was so fun. And I basically wanted to play every day. I think after the first day that I played doubles for about a week, didn't play singles. And then I started playing some singles, and I have this like vivid memory of just like, I was playing singles against this guy named Michael Krieger, who's like a solid player. And I was winning, and I had this vivid thought of like, wow, this is the most fun that I've ever had in my life. Mm-hmm. Just passing him. I was playing good. I was like, wow, this is so fun. And I don't know what else. And then from that moment on, all I thought about was pickleball. And I played every single day. So,
wow,
it's crazy how that happens, huh? How have you not seen Stacie on a court? Stacie, do you still go to Delray to play or no?
I haven't been down. I've been going more up to Gardens and here in West Palm, but I'm just a couple towns north of you, James.
I thought you were talking about a different Stacie. Yeah, no, I've never seen this Stacie.
Oh wow, you're missing out. You're missing out. She trains with the Waters all the time, so she's good.
Really?
I haven't been playing as much lately, but I need to get back out there. Yeah. So James, do you think most fun you've ever had in your life? That's kind of a big statement. Do you think pickleball is going to go farther than tennis? Maybe because hopefully millions of other people have the same thought.
I know that it's going to go farther than tennis because it's so much more fun than tennis, and tennis sucks. I've played. It's not even close. I mean, I've played both, and it's not like I've, it's funny because I hear these people talk about tennis. They're like, oh, tennis is harder. Like, good pickleball players couldn't play tennis. Well, like I've been there. I was a Division I tennis player, so I've seen both, and it's not even a question. I've got my friends that are playing pickleball now that were Division I tennis players, and I think that this might have been my biggest mistake, introducing my tennis friends to pickleball, because they're all already really good. And it's like, oh no, now these guys are going to start beating me because they're obsessed with it. They're playing every day. There's going to be a whole new wave of podium finishes from guys that started playing pickleball because James Ignatowich introduced them to pickleball, because I won't stop talking about it. I can't stop talking about pickleball. So I tell everybody about it. They start playing, they get addicted. And now there's this guy, Dave, who was one of my best friends, played Division I tennis. And I've always needed somebody to hit drops and dinks with, like somebody that's just got no life, just like me, willing to just hit dinks and drops for hours. And Dave does it because he just wants to hang out with me. He's got no other friends. Just kidding. But he'll basically do that with me. And at this point, Dave is like really good.
Mm-hmm.
And he's ready he hasn't played a tournament yet, but when he plays singles, he's gonna be really good. He's got a huge serve. He's almost as good as me at singles, pretty much. Like I've lost to him a couple times in games. And he hasn't played a tournament yet. So
wow.
I think pickleball is really addicting, and it's way more fun than tennis. There's only 10 seconds in between pickleball points. There's 25 seconds in between tennis points. That's a huge deal because I can't handle 25 seconds in between points. I think I've got ADHD or something. I just can't. It's so boring. I can't do it. Pickleball, rapid fire, so much better, easier to pick up. You see little kids playing pickleball. They love it. I've got an 8-year-old little brother who loves pickleball, hates tennis. And that's normal. That's how it's going to be.
So is your little brother going to be better than you one day?
No way. Because I'm going to be in his head. No, I mean, he could be better than me, but probably not. So.
All right. Well, when he gets, to be 18 years old or something, and he's on the tour, I'm going to show him this video.
Oh gosh. All right, I'll make sure my parents don't let him have fun.
So, James, what else should we know about you? What else do the pickleball world need to know?
What else should the pickleball world know about me? Not much. Oh, this is important, guys. Okay. So there's this. So people don't understand how electric men's senior pro doubles is. And there's haters. There's people that don't understand. I am the biggest men's senior pro doubles fan on the planet. And I think it's the best spectator event in the sport, men's senior pro doubles. If I had to watch one event for the rest of my life, it'd be men's senior pro doubles. I wouldn't think about it. It's, the passion, the grit, the intensity. You see what Dave Weinbach and Dane Gingrich do. It's unbelievable. They play pro. They beat Rafa Hewitt. They beat Ryler DeHart. I was watching them play in the consolation after they almost beat Zane and DJ, going against Grant Bond, who's a great player. He plays pro, these events. Dane and Dave beat Grant Bond and his partner 15-0. Wow. And I watched it happen. I mean, Grant, they should have charged Grant for the lesson that they gave him. It was absurd. And I think that it's something that people need to understand is that these guys are 55 and they're unbelievable. And I'm a huge, huge fan of Dave Weinbach. I always watch him play. I watch Dane Gingrich play. I think Scott Crandall and Rick Witskin, they beat Dave and Dane in the winners bracket at Newport Beach. Then they got double dipped. I watched it all happen, and people are like, James, what are you doing? Why are you watching all these men's senior pro matches? And I'm like, because it's the best. And so it's awesome to watch. They, Dave and Dane keep winning. I'd like to see Scott maybe start to take Dane and Dave out. I think Dane and Dave are getting a little too cocky. They win every single tournament. And but Scott's got a good partner now. Scott's got Rick Witskin, who is, nobody's gotten as close to beating or to winning a tournament against Dane and Dave as they have. So I'm excited about it. I think people should be more excited about men's senior pro doubles because it's awesome stuff. I've
commentated a lot of senior pro matches. And I will say that they are probably more hype than just about any person out there, especially Rick Witskin, of course. And you got like Jose DeRisi, who is on the same level. They go absolutely ham. Now, my question is, Matthias Johansson is just destroying everybody in singles. Have you challenged him yet?
Well, Matthias, he's lost to Paul Olin. He's lost to Paul Olin. I think the last 2 or 3 tournaments, but Matthias was winning. It was funny. You look at his Instagram. It's absolutely hilarious. Matthias's Instagram. It's every single post, gold medal Matthias, silver medal Paul Olin. post. And Paul's face every time is just like,
oh, I know.
And then it changed. Now Paul's beat him the last 2 times. Is Paul the better player than Matthias? I don't think so. I think that Paul's amazing, but I think Matthias has gotten, I don't know, it's tough to win over and over and over. Mm-hmm. It's really not easy to keep winning mentally, to not get complacent. And I think once you lose to somebody, then you start to try new things, you get better at certain things. So now that Matthias has lost these last 2, I think he's going to come back and start winning. But I'm not as big of a fan of men's senior pro singles as I am senior pro doubles, but I still follow it. And I've played Matthias. I played Matthias at the Newport Beach Men's Pro, and I was tight because if you lose to a pro,
your career's over.
Quit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we had, but I beat him, thankfully. But he put up a good fight, and he's such a tough player. I mean, he's unbelievable. To move how he does is absurd.
And with all the wraps that he has on him. He's got
with the sports.
He's got a back brace. Hey, don't hate on the man prees. I have a pair, and they're both comfortable, and they're very, they work. So I love the man prees. It's just all the bandages that he has, the back brace, the knees, the ankles, the arm, the shoulder. I'm like, Jesus, how does he move that way? Oh
my gosh, his neck coverage at that age is crazy. It is. It's crazy. But you got to shout out the other senior pro, Matt Wright. I mean, what he's doing. Matt Wright, number 1 PPA in doubles at the age of 70. That's incredible.
Wow. Yeah. No. I mean, a real athlete at that age.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff.
And getting in verbal arguments with 20-year-olds. Yep.
Yes. Then again, I mean, when I'm 46 or 47, I don't know how old Matt is. He's old, but when I'm that age, I think I'm going to talk some trash. I'm going to say, look, I'm 49, 50, and I'm number 1 in the world. Like, you guys. So I know Matt, some people say Matt is, he talks some trash or whatever it is. And I don't know him personally, but I've seen some of the stuff, and I think we should let it slide. I think you should get the pass to start talking crap once you hit 40. If you hit 40 and you're playing pro, you should be allowed to say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, just imagine when Althoff gets to senior pro, and then you have.
I'm waiting, and I know the partnerships he's going to be playing with.
Rick.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but yeah, he's got a partnership with Dane. He's got some tournaments with Dane. I'm going to be watching though. That's going to be awesome. And he's going to fit in so well. His personality, it's going to be awesome.
I played Althoff and Rick Witskin at the U.S. or the national championships in 2019. I lost to them 11-9 in the third.
Oh wow!
Yep,
that's pretty good.
I blame it on my partner, Brandon Hubschman.
Oh, you played with Hubschman? Yeah, just blame it on Hubschman.
Yeah, 100%. But I see here you've been in the broadcast booth at the PPA. How was that?
Yeah.
How was that experience?
I think it was fun for me to show the people what's capable. What's possible. I think I'm probably the best commentator the game's ever seen, and that's just how it is. I think I'm a little bit too good. I think that commentating should be that way, though. You should make some jokes. It should be funny. I don't think pickleball should be going for like the tennis vibe, where it's so serious and more analytical. And there should be some of that stuff too, but I think it should be a good balance. It shouldn't be so boring. And I mean, the PPA commentators, it's like, what are we doing, guys? Like some of them, I don't know who's in there, if it's Connor, but you can't let Connor back in there because he doesn't know what. It's horrible. And it's like, I mean, it's absurd how bad he is. It's like one of the things that he said, he's like, okay, so this is James is going for his first PPA medal, or I think they might have even said first pro medal. But I had gotten bronze in the tournament, the last PPA tournament before that tournament. They said that in San Clemente, and I had gotten bronze. So it's like, and I think he said pro medal, and that would have been my third or fourth pro medal. So that's one thing. He also said Paris Todd goes to Cal Berkeley or went to Cal Berkeley or something. There, that was another. It's like you gotta do your research. And I hit this shot against Gabriel Joseph. It's on my Instagram. It was like a reverse shot, and after I hit the shot, they killed the vibe. The commentating killed the vibe. I think it was just not good. Like what I'm saying is they need me.
Okay. I do agree with you. I just looked at the entry list. I don't see you at Philly, so I won't be, unless you're going.
APP Philly?
Yes.
I'm not playing that.
All right. Well, I was because I'm going to be the commentator for that tournament, so I would just talk mad shit about you the entire time if you were going. So.
Well, I like the APP commentators.
Yeah.
I think the APP commentators are good. I think the Championship Sunday PPA commentators are good. Morgan Evans is good. And then there's this other guy. I don't know the name, but he's pretty good too. So
yeah. Well, I mean, the best one besides you, of course, is probably John Davison. But it's hard to compete with you. You got a 7.0 duper rating in singles and a 7.0 commentator rating apparently.
Yeah. Did you see what I said about Tyson?
I did not.
On the commentator?
I did not. But now I want to go watch.
Yeah, it was me. I called him like he was playing Hayden. And well, I'll let you see it. You should just
yeah. We'll keep it a secret to now. I'm gonna go find that.
Which event was it? Just so if people really do want to go look it up, they know where to go.
It's on PPA's Instagram. They posted it. They posted the snippet of it. It was him playing. The short version is like he was playing Hayden Patrick Quinn in the semis of men's singles. He hits a winner, and I say like, I said like delicious, scrumptious. That's what Tyson's all about. That's why they call him the McMuffin. And,
I think I did see that now.
I think I did see that too. Now I didn't know that was you though. So
that was me. Hey.
Well, clearly you gotta, you gotta brand yourself better when you're on the mic. Then people gotta know who you are.
Oh no, they knew. I was talking about myself the whole time. That's how they knew.
Oh, okay. Classic. So what else? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, what else do you want to say to your fans worldwide?
Well, to all 4 of my fans, I want to say thank you for being my fans. I've got 4 fans, maybe 5. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, hopefully many more after this podcast. But James, I have one final question for you. After you go and win at MLP and or the Lions win, so maybe you come in second, you're going to come back on the Pickler Podcast so we can break it all down, right?
Yeah, I think that when my net worth increases from $11 to $25,011, I'm going to be talking a lot more smack.
You got to factor in the taxes in there too,
Oh, that's true. I'll pay those. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, just don't pay them.
Yeah, fine. I'll be up.
Well, John, any final thoughts?
I just have to say that I'm going to challenge him that he is not the best commentator that I am, and that if he doesn't think so, then he should just man up and sign up for Philly so I can talk about his matches. That's all I got to say.
Oh God, good thing I'm not playing. That's a lot of pressure because I know that I'm getting.
Well, James, thanks for coming on. Everybody, I hope you go follow MLP, follow the Ranchers, root on James Ignatowich, watch him on that right side, see if he can, his dinks and his drops, all that practice really comes through for him. And then subscribe to our YouTube channel, head over to thepickler.com, sign up for the newsletter. As John would say, smash that like button and follow button so you get alerts. And John, you want to take us out?
Yeah. So, James, I know you have a Celsius there. The way we always go out is we cheers the camera. So,
Okay.
if you don't mind, thanks for
Excited.
joining us. And Pickler out.